Good afternoon, Pleasant Valley families. In today's video message, I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you the information that lies behind the ability to apply for the 100% online remote waiver. As you are aware, many districts in our area have applied for the waiver, and about 10% of the districts across the state of Iowa have applied for one as well. And one thing you need to remember when we look at this information is that every district has its own factors or situations that drive their decision-making process. As a district, we have talked to all the districts in our area as to why they may have selected this process or this opportunity and why we have not at this point. What we look at very closely is our data within our district and what we are seeing. Things that we look at currently would be our student absenteeism, our staff absenteeism, and our ability to fill our subs each day when someone is gone. Currently, over the last 8 days, our student absentee rate has been at 9.6%. 3.3% of those numbers have been due to non-COVID related reasons. 6.3% have been because of students who are either quarantined or who have tested positive. Our staff is right at 10% over the last 8 days, and we have been able to fill 80% of our subs on a daily basis. Now, when I say that, please understand when 20% are not filled, we do have people internally that step in to help our teachers and fill in those classrooms to keep learning moving forward. So as we look at it as a district, one of our key things is to make sure that we can have consistent learning for all kids. One thing that we know that when we are in the classroom, that is where the greatest learning takes place. We also know that when students are home because they're sick and the technology that we have in place, we can continue to have learning moving forward. When kids test positive or they're quarantined for 2 weeks, we have Google Classroom or Seesaw where teachers are able to put the learning for their students to keep it moving forward. We also know at this time that we are able to keep the classrooms in our learning environment safe and supportive for all of our students and our staff. Even during this time when we've seen such high community spread rates, that is a factor, but we've still been able to maintain health and safety measures and mitigation within our buildings. And to give you an example, we know that with our students since day one of school, and even through the peak of this time, 80% of the time when our kids test positive or are quarantined for 2 weeks, it is due to a family occurrence or due to a social gathering or an activity event that kids have been involved in outside of school. And we would see the same thing with our staff. Many times our staff are impacted because of a spouse or a family member or something else that has occurred outside of school. So that is another factor that we watch very closely to see if the spread is happening within the school. And to date, we have not. Now, I say all this that we have not applied for the waiver and that our waiver is filled out and ready to go. It has been completed. We have all the structures in place in terms of schedules and frameworks. If we were to choose to go 100% online, we could do so. We could do so in the next 2 days. We'd want to give you as family members at least a 48-hour window of time to adjust. Basically, we give you an A hybrid day and a B hybrid day so our teachers could also talk to our students saying, this is what it will look like when you are at home on 100% remote learning. We are putting all those measures in place right now. We believe with what we're seeing today that we will be safe to continue in this format in the hybrid learning up to Thanksgiving through next Monday and Tuesday. What I can't speak to today is what will happen over Thanksgiving. It is very important that we as a community make sure we stay safe and limit our exposure during the holidays. What I would anticipate would be what we've seen before. A week after Thanksgiving, we could see a spike. And depending upon that spike and what transpires, we may have to go remote at that time. And we could go remote PK-12, we could just do elementary or junior high, secondary at the high school, across the board. We have all different frameworks in place. If we need to apply for the 100% at that time, we will do so. But again, it's to keep learning moving forward and the health and safety of our staff and students in mind. So with that, please help us during this time, during this high community spread, to keep our masks on, be safe both in school and outside of school. As we bring this message to a close, I want to end by saying thank you. In this time of Thanksgiving, as we enter Thanksgiving next week, I could not be more thankful for our students, our staff, and parents for what you have done over the last 4 months to make learning possible here in Pleasant Valley. It has been an adjustment, it has been hard, and there's been consequences that we've all had to endure because of this. But one thing is for sure, we will stick to our 3 goals and we will keep learning moving forward. With that, have a wonderful Thanksgiving and be safe.